All right, part 2 of number 1. So we're still working with the same fractions, but this question says, how much more does she practice on Thursday than on Friday? So we talked in class about how when we're comparing two amounts, like her practice time on Thursday versus her practice time on Friday, we know that's a good candidate for subtraction. So we are going to be doing the subtraction problem, 2/3 minus 1/2. First thing you'll notice right away, these are not written in the same language. These have two different denominators, so we need to change them. In our last problem, we decided by making a list of multiples that 12 is the number these two denominators have in common. So we are going to change our fractions into fractions with a 12 on the bottom. Okay, so the question you ask yourself is, how do I get from 3 to 12? Well, I multiply by 4. If I multiply by 4 on the bottom, I have to multiply by 4 on the top. 2 times 4 is 8. So 2/3 is really 8/12. 1/2, you might be able to easily say, well, 6 is half of 12, but we can do the standard algorithm just to check. How do you get from 2 to 12? Well, you multiply by 6. Okay, so you do the numerator times 6, and you should get 6/12. So we need to do 8/12 minus 6/12. All right, so we do 8 minus 6 equals 2. And then our denominator stays the same. Now we need to ask ourselves, is this fraction written in simplest form? And the answer to that question is no, because there is a number that I can divide these two by. I can divide the numerator and the denominator by the same number. So this is the point when we would stop and list our factors to figure out what these two numbers are divisible by. 12 has quite a few factors. All right, so what factor do these two numbers have in common? Well, they have the number 2 in common. So we're going to divide the numerator and the denominator by 2. All right, 2 divided by 2 is 1. 12 divided by 2 is 6. So she practiced for 1/6 of an hour more on Thursday than on Friday.